Zoe.
Zoe. Zoe time.
I'm Pat and I play and sing. I sing and play the guitar. I'm Pat and I sing and play the guitar. I'm Pat and I play the guitar and sing.
My name's Tricia and I play the acoustic guitar. My name's Catherine, K-A-T-H-R-Y-N.
This is an amazing way to communicate with people. by staring at this piece of glass. You know? We don't criticize each other, except for when we're needing to do it for some reason besides giving criticism. When it's more of a power thing, all of us, each one of us will go at each other with things that we should say during practice, you know, in sort of a cold, impersonal way that has to do with the music, and this is the way things should be done, I think, or they think, or she thinks, whoever thinks. And we should try things more. So we're a young band and we don't have all that we have yet.
The reason that I decided to be in this band is because it makes a good conversation opener. You know, sometimes when you meet new people, you don't know what to say to them. You feel sort of stupid, but if you're in a band, you can say, hey, come see my band play this week. So it's always nice to fall back on that.
There is that, isn't there?
So as we're sitting here trying to familiarize you with our personalities and what we're about as individuals and as a band unit, all I can say is it's very hard to convey this. It's like this bud here. See, you can look on the outside of this bud, but until you break it open and look on the inside and come to a show, you really aren't going to know what we're about.
Instead of
say that we really don't like each other that much right now, but that's not true. No, we do. We love each other, but we don't like each other sometimes. But I guess that's part of being in any band. And we really, all three of us really love the music.
Hi, my name's Chemo. Now, a lot of you have seen pretty much only the talk show version of the skinheads, you know, the Nazis and the racists, what I like to call the scum of the earth. But that's not the whole story. I'm an American skinhead. I believe in truth, justice, and the American way. I'm of German descent, that's true. Now, if somebody has something against German people, they have something against me, whether I did anything to them or not. That's not right. The same way it's not right for somebody to hate somebody because they're black, because they're Hispanic, because they're Oriental, or because they're gay. It's straight out stupid. And it's not like that. The way you tell is the colors they fly. Blue and black are the American skins and the working class youth. That's my pride. The red and the white are the fascist and the white supremacist. That's not right. I don't see why they think that way. I really don't understand. I mean, yeah, little Hitler Youth and all that. You know, Hitler, I must admit, was a genius. He swayed the people to think like he did. The Nazi skins, however, are not doing that. They're pissing the people off. They're not winning public opinion. They're getting negative press, and apparently they get off on that. I don't do that. I'm out there living my own life. I'm working, I'm making my own living, I'm eating my own food, living in my own house, having a great time. I don't bother anybody. So when you see me walking down the street, don't call me a Nazi. Hell, I'm Chemo. Treat me like that. That's pretty much all I have to say.